What's up, everybody? In this video, you're going to see a lot of my collection. I'm basically just using my collection as visuals while I talk about the topic. And by the way, I know some people have asked me if I plan to do a full collection video anytime soon. The answer is no, just to be real. There was really several different reasons, and let me address those real quick before I move into the main topic. For one thing, my collection is always changing. Pops kind of come and go. Part of it is because of space. I mean, space is limited. And when I say space is limited, I mean limited in that I like to see everything that I own. So I try to keep everything close to me. So yeah, I just feel like if I can't see it constantly, then there's really no point in having it. So that's one reason. Another reason is because, just to be real, and I'm not putting down anybody that does collection videos, but I feel like they're kind of overdone on YouTube. So that's another reason why I'm not interested in doing one myself. And then also part of it is just my collection is not as organized as I would like it to be. I'm constantly moving things around, and I'm still trying to work out some areas. Some areas look kind of rough. I'm not really happy with them. So that's yet another reason why I'm not worrying about doing a collection video. So that's addressed. Let's move on to the main topic here. I think it's almost unavoidable, unless you just like completely live in isolation, that if you collect figures, whatever type of figures it may be, of course I'm primarily going to focus on Funko Pops because that's mostly what I collect. Although I still think that a collection looks a lot better when you mix in other types of figures, as you see here. But yeah, at some point somebody is going to say to you that it's a waste of money, or somebody's going to ask you, don't you feel like it's a waste of money? So and by the way, I realize what I titled this video, and I'm sure there'll be some people that don't even watch the video and make a snap judgment about the video and thumbs down, hit the immature button, whatever it may be. But I don't really care about that because I don't cater to people that don't listen. So that's really all there is to it. And I don't cater to people that make assumptions either. But yeah, as I was saying, it's gonna happen at some point if it hasn't happened to you already. And the short answer, of course, and I think you all would know by looking at these figures that you're seeing here, what my answer is: absolutely not. It is not a waste of time or money. When it comes down to it, we all want to get some joy out of life. We have different ways of going about it. For a lot of people, it is collecting things. Then you have some people, they're all about music. Some people are all about movies. And of course, you're not limited. You can be into different things. Some people have certain vices. And by the way, I did this video, the point of it is not to criticize what people are into. I mean, we each know individually for us what we feel is right, what we feel is wrong. But I mean, there are some people that are into partying a lot, drinking, drugs even, whatever it may be. Of course, you can do certain things. You can have fun without spending money, which again it doesn't have to be like a singular way that you find joy in life. There's different things that you can do. And like I said, some may be positive, some may be negative. Hopefully, you would veer towards what is positive. But the point I'm trying to make, though, is that if you handle your responsibilities, that's a key thing. If you take care of your responsibilities, bills are paid. And if let's say that you're young, that you're still living with your parents, you're not working age, you still have responsibilities too that you have to take care of. You got to do your schoolwork, you got to do your chores around the house, take care of things, help out, listen to your parents, of course. So you have responsibilities as well. But I look at it this way: if all of your responsibilities are handled, then the way that you choose to find your joy is up to you. And I think it's kind of shameful that some people will try to dictate how people find joy in life. Again, even if you think it's something that is negative or harmful, Now when it comes to serious things like drugs, alcoholism, those sorts of things, of course you want to voice your opinion and try to help out people you care about. But when it comes to something like collecting, it's not a damaging thing. Again, I gotta stress though, as long as your responsibilities are taken care of. And then also, along with it, because collecting, obviously what you're seeing from these images here, collecting does take up space. As long as you're also respecting other people's space, then what you do is really up to you. That's the way I'm gonna feel about it always. I keep saying that and stressing that because I don't think you're doing any harm to anybody else. And some people, when it comes down to it, they just don't get it. I mean, they're probably not going to get it. I'm sure a lot of you watching this have had to explain to people that pop figures and other types of figures, and by the way, I know Ultimo doesn't fit in here, but it's about the only space I could find for him. So right now he's a member of Guardians of the Galaxy. But yeah, as long as I'll just say it this way, a lot of people think that pop figures are toys, and I put part of that blame on stores because that's where they place them. They place them with toys. But a lot, some people, because they're not into collecting, they don't understand that some of these toys are also collectibles. It's actually possible for them to be both. It just depends on what you do with the figure. I mean, a little kid could actually take a pop figure or a dwarves, whatever, and play around with it and maybe have some fun with it, even though it doesn't have like a bunch of articulation and stuff going on. But it's really up to that individual. So but yeah, those of you that are really into collecting, especially if you know about chase figures and limited figures, things like that, you understand that it's a collectible and it does have value. And that's really a big thing that some people are overlooking, that pop figures are very much an investment. Even if you consider yourself collecting purely just for the joy of it, there may come a time when you look around at your collection and you realize, okay, maybe you have some bills you're behind on, medical expenses, whatever it may be, and it might be a heartbreaker, but you look around and you realize, okay, I have these figures worth X amount of dollars. Let me go ahead and do what I have to do, sell them and take care of my responsibilities. That happens sometimes. And of course, some figures can go up in value. So, I mean, you think about it this way, and I hate to get into the comparison game, but you think about it this way. Like I said, people have different ways that they, find joy. So, you can go to the movies, you can listen to a lot of music, download a lot of music, things like that. Like I said, some people are into drinking, smoking, whatever it may be. But, how many people actually have hobbies that are investments at the same time? It's I would say, not a huge amount of people, so at least with pop figures, like I said, if you really need to, if your back's against the wall, then you can get some money off of your collection. Let me go ahead and address an elephant in the room as well. Some people like to try to do the Beanie Baby comparison when it comes to Funko. And they say, well, what if Funko ends up being the next Beanie Babies and all of a sudden your figures are worth nothing. Again, I don't find much logic in that. Now, I'm not saying that Funko is always going to be popular and that figures will always hold value, but the big difference, this to me, I'm not going to do a full breakdown, but the major difference between Funko and Beanie Babies is that Funko has licensing. They have popular properties. So, for example here, The Walking Dead, hugely popular. Even after this series eventually ends, it's still going to have a fan base. You think about these horror figures here, classic. They are classic. So I think these will always hold some value, maybe not high value, but there will be some value to them. So that Beanie Baby argument does not hold up to me. You are always going to have some value to your collection. You won't quite get what you want maybe, but like I said, there will be some value. I really want people to understand as well that collecting is not just about collecting. There's more to it than that. It's also about making connections with other collectors. I mean, when people share hobbies, you think about athletics, people that are into athletics, of course they get to know other athletes, especially because so many sports are team sports. Same thing goes with collecting. Now, maybe you're not necessarily a team, but you get to know other collectors because it's almost impossible unless you're wealthy to get everything that you want on your own. And as a matter of fact, even people that are wealthy still, try to connect up with other collectors to help them out, to get good deals and everything, because, or just to find figures that are super rare. So collecting is very much a community type of thing, and that's big to me. And I really have met a lot of people and developed relationships, which I really appreciate. And on a personal level, and I'm going to start to get more personal here, in case you don't know about me, if you haven't been with my channel very long, I have dealt with anxiety issues before, and really getting into collecting and then also getting into YouTube helped me work through that. Now, I'm not saying my life is perfect now, whatever. Anxiety is something that I don't think ever fully goes away. We all deal with it to an extent, but yeah, collecting has helped a lot. I mean, I can get out in public and I'm cool to go around people and to get to know people and everything. I don't feel so isolated. It's been a huge help. It's like therapeutic, which may sound weird to some people, but I mean, it's totally legit. I'm proof of that. And by the way, something you're noticing here, if you have not seen this before on my channel, these postcards, artwork, and different things on the wall, these different letters and notes are from people that I've gotten to know. As a matter of fact, a lot of what's in my collection is really thanks to the help of the collecting community and the YouTube community. I would not have nearly as much in my collection if it wasn't for the help and the kindness of other people. I even had a lot of people that looked out for me when my birthday came along, so that means something to me. So collecting is not just about the figures. There really is more to it than that. And over here, I mean, this is pretty much almost all letters from fellow YouTubers, subscribers, friends, just a lot of love from the community. Even here, you got somebody that drew my dog. Back over here at my Marvel shelf, this is one of my favorite areas of my collection, and like I said, I do have actually more in my collection. I didn't show every single thing because this is not really so much a collection video, but yeah, I just want to go ahead and wrap things up here and really end on a personal note again, just letting you know a little bit more about me. This collection that I have now, I value it so much. This is the type of thing I dreamed about having as a kid. I used to watch, I would see in a lot of movies, people, like kids would just have just crazy rooms, like so much stuff going on in their rooms. Some people could consider it maybe overdressing the set, but I just thought it was so awesome to see that. And even watching shows like Big Bang Theory, got into that a couple years ago, and just seeing them collecting and everything, it just amazed me. But it never crossed my mind that I could have that type of collection. And the reason why is because, I mean, it really comes down to my parents. Now, let me be clear. My parents, I'm not trying to call my parents bad people, but they were that type that really dictated how I spent my money. They would criticize it kind of heavily. And I think there's different reasons why people do that. Now, some people actually do think that they're helping you out. They feel like they really mean well, and they have your best interests at heart. But, you also got to watch for it. Sometimes people they try to dictate how you spend your money because basically they want it. If you're not doing something to help them out, then they're going to say you're wasting your money. So that's something that you do have to watch for. And unfortunately, it's something that I have dealt with, even with family members, but yeah, so for a long time, I kind of had this, I don't even know what you would call it. I guess like a mental block where I had a tough time spending money on myself. I always felt guilty about doing so because of the way that my parents were with me. And you know, your parents affect you more than anybody. And I just want to end up with this message here for anybody that has ever said to somebody, you know, you're wasting your money, you're wasting your time. Really think about why you're saying that. You know, is it really a best interest type of thing? Do you see this person harming themselves in some way? Are they not taking care of their responsibilities because they're so focused on collecting? If that's the case, I understand. But if you're criticizing just for the sake of criticizing, really think about what you're doing to that individual, because I know from experience, it's not a good feeling when you feel guilty to do anything for yourself, to find that joy that you really need and that you deserve. You know, we all, again, deserve joy. And if collecting gives you that joy, you deserve it. You know, so I'm going to wrap it up there. I definitely want to hear your feedback. Let me know if you've dealt with this before, if you've had people saying you're just wasting your money. My biggest piece of advice, I would say, ignore it. Do what makes you happy, because not everybody is going to really look at your happiness. They're going from their own perspective first and foremost. But you know, if you work hard, you do the things that you're supposed to do, you take care of things, then you deserve to be happy. And if collecting makes you happy, so be it. But yeah, that's going to be it for now. Definitely look forward to your feedback, and you all take care. Till next time.